Doc Walker, you are a student of this game. You don't get hyped up about a lot. JP called Landfill the cheap BS officer. I think you're the godfather of BS officing, officering. All right. When you look at this team, what do you think is the best case scenario?
You mean like a fictional record?
I'm saying, what if you look at them and you see all the different things coming in and out. You know, what you think the possibilities are based off of your acumen and also your experience. You know, we know like we're not most guys where they sign one person and be, oh, we're going to the Super Bowl.
Oh
But
yeah,
the ultimate thing is, I know it's some ifs and ands into it, but if they go out and Jaden Daniels hit, and a lot of these guys that they sign to these 1-year deals come in and play like they're capable of playing, what's the best case scenario?
that you would be a playoff team,
Mm-hmm.
that you would be in contention for your division. You're just going to be in the mix. I think it's sinful for a professional team not to be in the mix.
Yeah.
You know, this is not like college where you're recruiting or you got NIL or you don't have no, everybody's equal except for acumen, intent, and effort. So I think we now have the acumen, we had the effort is up, and the spirits are lifted. So now it's just up to, oh, do we stay healthy at those key spots, quarterback, left tackle, corner, and can we actually go out and be competitive? And I believe that we will. Every indication says that we will, and I expect it. But I've expected it over the years. But it's different this time because I don't. These guys are not BSers.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
they're not used car. Not to get you. I love some of my best friends that used car salesmen, but they're just not con men. This is a legitimate effort by
Well,
some
some used
people that
car
have been
salesmen are
overlooked.
common, so
Yeah, but
not all
but
of them.
so are
Some of them
so
are.
are some the people in all levels of our life that
Some
are
new car
con men.
salesmen are common too.
Yeah, yeah. Well, let's just say
They
that
don't tell you that car just came through a damn flood.
that's true. But let's just I think our whole society is not void of con men. So let's just call it straight.
Yeah, there you go.
But in this case, I feel very comfortable bragging about the potential
Yeah.
of us not to suck.
And see, for me, I'm with you on that. Like, people have been asking me what I think, and my first thing is I can't tell you right now
I have
because
no
I
idea.
haven't seen anybody in anything other than t-shirt and panties. Okay,
That's right.
and
That's right.
and I said that way to make sure you understand. When people are running around in shorts and t-shirts, that's not real damn football.
Right.
So I can tell you people are fast, tell you some
Mhm.
people in shape, but I can't tell you a damn thing about actual football. So when they start
Right.
putting on pads and things, and I would say this, if the things that I'm expecting based off of what I've seen thus far works out the way that I seen and heard it will, I believe that, like Doc said, they could be a playoff team. Okay, and when you say a playoff team, people go, "Oh man, no, no, no! It doesn't take much to get into the playoffs.
Could be the last
You can be
playoff
nine and
team,
eight.
whatever.
You can
Yeah.
be 10-7.
That's
You got
right.
7
That's right.
spots to get into the playoffs now.
That's
So I
right.
think that's possible. And I think the ultimate thing comes down to not. And I'm not like the typical person that talks about football. They always say, "Oh man, it all boils down to the quarterback."
Mm-mm.
I played quarterback, and
Mm-hmm.
might not be at the NFL level, but I did. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
but it doesn't make a difference what your quarterback does if the people can't block for him. If the
Mm-hmm.
people in front of him can't block for him, he can't get the ball to the guys like a Terry McLaurin. He can't get the ball to a guy like, Jahan Dotson if he goes back and be how he was his rookie season. He won't be able to do much if they can't run the football effectively with Brian Robinson and Eckler. So ultimately, it's going to come down to what that damn offensive line does. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And when you flip it over, it's easy to say, oh man, that secondary got cooked. But if the coach kept lining them up in the same dumbass coverages all the time, and people kept attacking the same dumbass coverage every week, partially their fault too, the coaches.
Mm-hmm.
But if your secondary has to cover for 5 and 6 seconds, they're not going to do it. The NFL receivers are too damn good. So for me, everything boils down to the big dudes. If the big dudes can play super competitive, kick-ass football, this team can win 9, 10 games this year. I think that's best case scenario in my book. Now, worst case scenario, we could look bad worse than we did last year. If everybody come up here just reading the Clippers and feeling good about themselves instead of going out there and understanding that everybody, there is no one on this football team that played well enough last year to be resting on their laurels. No one. I don't care what somebody did about this, that, and the other. Everybody has to improve. The guy that was as good as any most consistent player on this team, Terry McLaurin, he's still working out when people are on vacation. So if he feel he needs to work out and get better, like I used to see Art Monk and Darryl Green always doing something. I'm like, damn, these dudes are good. But it sets something to me where guys be like, oh man, I did all right last year. No, you didn't. Your team won 4 damn games. So worst case scenario, they could be 3-14, 4-13 again. But I doubt it. But that could happen if people don't understand that they have to improve their game just a little.
See, I have a great deal of respect for esports. I didn't grow up with it, but man, I have a great deal of respect for it. We have sports fans that have genuinely are competitive, and they do it a different way. And so these young kids now get faked into thinking they're popular. They're really not, because these people are making money off of whether you win or lose. Whereas I grew up in a generation where the only way you were recognized is if you won. That's different now. So these cats are being sold on a different platform. So the coaching has got to be even better now to keep these guys motivated. Because let's face it, we've had some guys here that have been unapologetic. They just took that money and really thought they had accomplished something. And they done nothing. They in last place and walking around driving convertibles. I'd be in a truck in last place. These cats are a whole different sphere. We have to get rid of that element, and I think they've done that. And now get back to where the only way you can feel human is to win. And so it takes a minute, but I think they got the right people now. And I can't wait for it, because having all these arrogant losers around, it just drove me nuts.
Yeah, and like my thing is, I can go off of what I see. Okay, I know what it takes to win. I know what it takes to lose, and I also know when I'm seeing people work towards what it takes to win. And I believe that these guys right now and the staff, I think the people above the staff, the front office, even ownership, they give a damn about winning and what they look like.
Yes.
I think
yes.
others before felt that we can just show up. It's burgundy and gold. We've been to 4 Super Bowls. We won a world championship way back in the day. We won 3 of them. They were resting on the laurels of what they had seen before, but had absolutely nothing to do with. Okay? George Allen was here. Bruce Allen didn't do a damn thing. He just had his daddy's name. Didn't automatically mean he was going to do something. Okay? The ultimate thing now is people that are coming here now, they understand. And let's be real. We say, oh, they spent $6.05 billion. You know what the person that spent $6.50 thinking? I got to make about $12.10 billion. You see what I'm saying? I got to do that to be able to recoup what I spent, because they didn't buy this team just to be walking around with their chest out. See, buying a football team did not make them big men. They own hockey. They own basketball. They own soccer. They got a real damn business. So now they want to win. In business, you don't buy and invest to be steady. You want to improve, increase. And I think that's what they're trying to do. And I believe that mindset now has started to filter around every person in that damn building. It's no longer just, I'm big dog because I own the team in town. No, they try to make the team in town better. You know, they looking at the possibilities. One man spent $800 million and sold it for $6 billion. They spent $6 billion. You think they're not thinking about trying to sell it for $20 billion if they want to sell it later on?
B. Mitch, anything is possible. Steve Ballmer bought the Clippers. They couldn't be a bigger joke. They were a bigger joke than this clown show was. And guess what? Now they on the verge of running Los Angeles
Mhm.
because the Beverly Hillbillies couldn't even attract. They just lost Clay Thompson. I say lost as if they ever had him,
Uh-huh.
and his father is a part of that. That kid said he'd have been the dumbest thing he could have ever done in his life, going backwards. They are a sinking ship, and that kid went to. They can't even attract a guy at the last phase of his career to go join them now, and that's exactly what has happened here.
Mhm. So, I mean, it's just listen, man. I think one thing about sports and the thing I know about competitors, a real competitor really doesn't care what you say to him. If you tell him he's great, doesn't care. Tell him he's not great, doesn't care because you know what? He's not judging himself based off of the opinions of those that really don't know what it takes to get
Don't
there.
know. Don't have a clue.
So, but there are people out who act like they're competitors who try to react to everything a person says about them. So if I say you're great, you stop working. If I say you're bad, you say, "Oh, I don't care what you say." You still don't work. But the real competitor works no matter what you say. So ultimately, what it comes down to is I am seeing now people that are influencing others by saying, "Hey, you may have thought you did enough. You didn't." When I heard Bobby Wagner telling offensive linemen, "Hey man, you're giving away tips. Don't do that. I noticed you were going to pull based off of the pressure in your hand." Well, that person probably thought, "Oh, well, I'm fooling them." Like I know Ernest Biner taught me to stay even when I'm in a 2-point stand, weight even on both feet. And I thought I was, but if I'm going to the right, I always had a little more extra pressure on my left. I didn't think I did, but he was able to let me know that.
Yeah.
So as I begin to learn, I begin to get it. So now I'm looking around, I'm putting weight from right to left. I am now throwing as much as I can to confuse the hell out of you. But you have to learn those things. And
Kenny
now you
Houston.
got people on this team that can help out guys who thought they were getting the best info and they weren't. Now they can get it from some people.
Kenny Houston, at the end of his career, you know how humiliating it is when you consider yourself young and spry,
Huh?
and there's a guy at the end of his career, and you cannot run past him, and you're trying to figure it out. And he pull you to the side and say he knows exactly where you're going because you're telling him with your eyes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everybody has a tendency to look where they want to end up. And
Yeah.
Kenny Houston told me one day on our ride home, he said, "You got to stop looking to where you want to end up.
Yeah.
Throw me off." So this is what veterans, well, older people, that's why a guy that gets rid of all of his vets is a fool. You know, you need a good mix of youth and enthusiasm. But that's what I think this team has, and you've seen it. You're out there, and I hear it, and I just feel it, man, because it reminds me of our teams. They got to get along, and it's not about money. It's about pride and the
Yeah.
fact that if you can live with yourself, having lost to the Giants 4 straight times, then you don't deserve to wear this uniform.
Hmm. Well, hey man, strong leaders are not worried about guys with opinions that may be veterans. We've seen people get rid of those when they come in a building. Strong leaders go out there and get veterans with an attitude or with an opinion. You know why? Because they want to know, and it helps them get better. So right now, I'm looking at this thing where I did the thing yesterday on leaders and bosses. We had a boss before. Got some leaders now. We'll see how it goes.